What's good, fuckers? Today we're going to be breaking down exactly how I went from a gay loser retard construction worker that was only making $900 a week to now still being gay and retarded. But in the last 24 days, I've been able to make just under $40,000 fucking dollars. Here's some of the bank screenshots if you don't believe me. And this was all just by learning one skill. No qualification, no business, no degree. And today I want to show you step by step my entire journey and how you can do this for yourself and how you can change your life with this shit in the next 12 months. My intention with this video is to be relatively raw, and I'm going to make the video pretty unedited because I just want to be authentic. I feel like most people on social media that talk about making money online often lie about how much they make, what they actually do, how did they even get to the point they're at now, how many times have they failed, so on and so forth. And I want to just be fucking honest and give you guys the truth. This isn't going to be super fucking dopamine friendly, so for all you doom scrollers that, just a little dopamine goblins, you might as well fuck off. This video isn't for you. This video is for people that actually want to fucking change their life, because I was able to. So grab some fucking Zins, I don't know, grab White Monster, a bit of coffee, a bit of water, I don't fucking know, grab a notepad, write some shit down, lock the fuck in, let's get started. Now, I know this probably sounds pretty fucking cliche at this point, but yes, I was a tradie and I quit that shit. I was pretty fucking miserable about 2 years ago, right? 2024 Huddy was waking up at 4 a.m., throwing on a fucking high vis, working 12 hours a day, and building someone else's dream. And I was sick of it, man. I didn't really fucking hate the work, right? Like, there were aspects I did enjoy working a trade. However, I wasn't getting paid what I thought I was worth. I'd been working with people who had been in the industry for 10, 15, 20 years, who were also miserable, making fuck all as well. And all I really saw myself was becoming them. I kind of saw them as a direct reflection of the person that I become had I not done anything about it to change my situation. And here's a fucking photo. I did fucking 4 hours overtime one day, missed out on my basketball game, missed out on something I actually wanted to fucking do outside of work, didn't get paid any OT for those extra hours that I put in, but I had to show up. I had no choice but to work those 4 extra hours so I could keep my job and continue to pay my bills. And I fucking hated it, bro. Like, I felt like I didn't have a life outside of work. It was that saying where it goes, you're living to work instead of working to live. And all I do all day is pick up gyprock sheets and fucking pick up wall frames, put shit together, whatever. But at this point in my life right here, I think filming yourself crying is pretty gay, but I filmed this as a documentation of the lowest point of my life. And I filmed this because I wanted to say to myself, hey, I am in such a shit position right now, so unhappy with the person I was and the person I was becoming, the route that I was going down. And this was bigger than just working the job I was in, but I was like smoking weed and I was partying and I was doing all this just retarded, degenerate shit that didn't really help me or benefit my life whatsoever. But I wanted to film this so I could say, hey, I'm never going to be back here again. This is going to be a moment of change and I'm never going to go back. So I'd often actually look back at this video anytime I felt unmotivated or undisciplined or couldn't be bothered to do fucking anything, and remind myself I can't go back to this. And it was in this moment I realized I only had 2 options. You see, I had looked into online business since like 2021, 2022, when Andrew Tate was around. He was talking about getting out the matrix, and I was like this dumb, retarded fucking 17-year-old, 18-year-old that was, like, oh, how am I gonna escape the matrix? Watching all his fucking videos. But I was so scared to try something. I was so scared to take a risk and give something a crack because I was so worried about, what if this doesn't work out? What if I get nowhere with it? What if I waste a bunch of time and money and get nowhere? But when I was in this point, living this life, unhappy as fuck, I thought to myself, well, yes, I have 2 options. One is to do absolutely nothing, continue to let this fear of it failing and it not working out consume me and overcome me to the point where I never try anything at all. But in that case, I guarantee myself essentially to stay here because I'm not giving myself any other option. My second choice was to give something a crack and potentially get to this point. I was so focused on the what if it doesn't work out instead of what if it does? And I thought to myself, worst case scenario, if this doesn't work out, I pretty much just end straight back at where I was going to end up anyway, had I not tried anything at all. And I thought to myself, I cannot live with myself if I continue to feel this way about my job, continue to fucking hate it and want to get out of it, but never do anything at all. I just saw myself, imagine being on my deathbed and, never taking a risk, never making any changes in my life. I knew I would just think about, fuck man, I wish I took more risks. I wish I just gave something a crack. And there's like a level of retard maxing involved, I feel like, in terms of finding success, because so many people love to overanalyze, overcomplicate, overthink absolutely everything and never just give something a crack. And that was the person I used to be. You know, I had done that for like 2-3 years up until that point. But the art of retard maxing is literally just saying, hey, you know, I'm gonna stop thinking and just start fucking doing and not really give a fuck about what the outcome is. And so then in 2024, I said, fuck it, I'm gonna give something a go. And I tried a lot of different business models. I tried SMMA, SaaS, ecom, day trading. I spent a good 8 long ass months getting fucking nowhere. I tried reselling as well. As you can see, this little fake fucking AirPod. This is me building a dropshipping store on Shopify. This is when I even first started posting content. I had 500 followers, get no motion, no views whatsoever. And like I said, during this point in my life, I didn't get very far with anything, right? I made a little bit of money here and there, but it was nothing concrete. It was nothing that was significant enough for me to be able to leave my job. But I started to see failure and making mistakes as an opportunity to grow, as an opportunity to learn and avoid those mistakes in the future. And that's where I think most people get it so twisted. They get so scared to fail, but now that I've been in this space for 2 years now, you actually need to welcome failure. You see, when you're succeeding, you never really want to change anything at all because you feel like you're doing everything right, and that's why you're winning. But the truth is, it never really happens like that. You're never going to jump into something brand new and get it right the first time. And if I haven't had this period in my life, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. I wouldn't have realized and came to the conclusions that I have now. And people get so skeptical about, you know, where I'm at now, the position I've been able to put myself in, and how quick it was for me to get to where I'm at now. But the truth is, man, I failed a fuck ton. I made so many mistakes, but no one really saw the behind the scenes. Now, one of the lessons I learned from trying these business models was realizing that I had no business skills. I had no idea what the fuck I was doing. You see, with something like a social media marketing agency, you have to be good at multiple different things. You have to be good at sales. You have to be good at marketing to bring on new clients. You have to be good at fulfilling a service. You have to be good at building out systems, making new hires, managing those hires, building SOPs, the list goes on. And I started to conduct a little bit of research on Google. I mean, this is ChatGPT here, ripped straight from ChatGPT. You can have a look if you want. But what I started learning, and I'll read this out for you here, most people try to start an online business backwards. They obsess over the business model, the logo, the website, the niche, the perfect offer. But the truth is, online business is just a vehicle. What actually makes you money is your ability to solve problems, communicate value, and move people to take action. And that's a skill. If you don't have business skills, you're basically trying to drive a race car without knowing how to steer. And when I came to this realization, I was like, what the fuck am I doing? You know, how could I try something like SMMA when I don't even know a thing about sales? I don't even know a thing about marketing or fulfilling a service or anything along those lines. So I discovered, hey, okay, skill sets matter a fuck ton. What is the best skill set to learn in business? And this is what it told me. It said specifically high ticket sales. And that's not because it's flashy, but because it forces you to develop almost every other skill indirectly. You learn communication, you learn confidence, you learn persuasion, you learn emotional intelligence, you learn handling pressure, objection handling, marketing psychology, human behavior, networking, discipline, and how businesses actually make money. Because you're working as a sales rep for a successful business, you start to see how they operate and how they make their money, which indirectly helps you when you want to go start a business in the future. But when I came across this, I was like, okay, I need to get into high ticket sales. I need to just focus on one skill set first. And I realized like, hey, I can make fucking 5 figures a month remotely if I just get really good at this. And in future, I can go start my own business if that is something I want to do in the future. So then the more I looked into high ticket sales, remote sales, I realized, okay, for me to start making money, I need to apply for some roles and land a good one. So I started applying, and I probably applied for maybe hundreds, if not thousands of fucking job interviews on like Seek.com, Indeed, Facebook, LinkedIn, any platform that posts role opportunities, I fucking apply for that shit. And I really only landed like a handful of interviews, but the biggest things that I got in response was that I had no fucking experience, I had no training, and I had zero fucking aura. No one wanted to hire me because I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I mean, look at me, cunt. I look like a fucking retard. And now that I look back at this decision I made, me trying to apply for roles, it looks really fucking stupid. Now that I've been in this space for 2 years now as a business owner, it's like, why on God's green earth Would I hire someone who has no idea what they're doing and put them in my sales calls? Because like in reality, if you are a successful business owner and say you make $1 million a month, if you hired a sales rep that doesn't have any idea what the fuck they're doing, it's going to cost you both your time and your money. It's going to cost you time because you have to train them and catch them up to speed, but it's going to cost you money as well, because if you actually put an untrained sales rep in front of your leads, especially if you're running paid ads, they're most likely going to burn those leads because they have no idea what the fuck they're doing. Once I discovered this, that's when I realized, okay, I need to invest in sales training. I need to learn how to actually do this shit. And that's when I invested all the money I had in my bank account into some sales training. Hopped on group calls like this where we do role plays. I get proper coaches to critique my sales calls, to tell me what was going wrong and the things I was doing right. And in a matter of a month, I landed a role. I made my first $500 and another $400 to go with that, and then made that on a consistent basis to then be able to leave my job. And to give you a little bit more perspective, this was how much I was making while I was still working my job as a setter. So I was working as a setter on an SMMA offer, and I was making commissions like this: $600, $500, $900, $900, $800, $500, while still working 60 hours a week. Eventually, like I said before, I was making enough to replace my income. So I ended up just quitting my job and then progressing into a closing position, and my paycheck started looking like this: 2K, 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 1.4, 1.8, 1.9, 2. I was making fucking like double what I was making before while I was still working construction. This only took me like 2 or 3 months, and I was already making like fucking 8K a month. And the more sales calls I took, the more I learned, the more I improved my skills, the more money I made. As soon as I got better, I started making weeks like this: 4K, 5K, 5K, 4K, 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 11K. Bro, I had some fucking insane weeks as a closer. And this shit genuinely changed my life within a year. I was able to travel to 5+ countries, make over $40,000 a month remotely, give back to my family, and finally have freedom. This was all just by learning remote sales. And then I was able to start doing things like this: pay my mom's bills. She asked for some new headphones. I fucking bought them for her. And then just give her money whenever the fuck she needs it. This shit fucking changed my life. This skill in itself fucking propelled me to making a fuck ton of money. This skill literally changed my life, and all I was doing was just communicating over a fucking Zoom call and collecting cash. And for everyone that doesn't know what remote sales is, let me just give you a quick little breakdown. I do have a 1-hour free course. I'll link it in the description below. That'll break it down even further. But the reason they hire people like this is businesses or influencers have a product or service they need to sell. They have a fuck ton of leads or a large audience that have been watching their stuff for a while. They're already looking to purchase, but their biggest problem is that they have thousands of fucking applicants. They just don't have the time to personally hop on a sales call with each and every one of them. And that's why they hire people like this. They get people to take on calls with their leads. This is you as the closer. And you typically would make like a 10% commission on a $10,000 deal. You make $1,000 in just a fucking 45-minute sales call. And look, if you at all think that I got lucky or, you know, I'm someone special, I'm definitely not. I'm special ed. Like, I'm fucking retarded. I dropped out of school at 16 years old. But look at someone like Ryan here. He bought his mom an $80,000 Maserati, her dream car, just by learning the skill of sales. Look how fucking wholesome that is. Or my guy TK, who left his job and makes $11,000 a month as a closer. He used to work in a warehouse. He's from New Zealand. He's like 21 years old. Lockie, another example, $24,000 in a week while still working full-time as a Sparky. Here's the bank screenshot. Or Lewis, who I've talked about quite a few times now. He quit his job. He was working as a fully qualified plasterer. Hated that shit, was making fuck all. He's a 25-year-old from Victoria, Australia, and now makes $14,000 to $20,000 a month as a sales rep. Here's some more proof here: 11K there, 3K there. And this is one of his bigger months, literally 19.1K in a single month. Kaius, another good example, 4.4K in a single fortnight, and quit his job. He was working at a fucking kebab shop. Caleb, who quit his job and made 7K in his first month. He was working in a warehouse, 18-year-old from Sydney. This is a cool one. Matt McKay quit his job as a chippy and made 4K in 3 days building his own SMMA. So he learnt sales and then used sales and marketing to build his own social media marketing agency. I'll share one more because I know I'm fucking rambling, but Andrew, he's from Canada, quit his job and made $2,250 in a week, quit his construction job, and then moved out to his own place, which is pretty fucking crazy because he used to complain to me all the fucking time that he was making fuck all and could barely afford to pay his grocery bills and his fuel when he was still working this job, living with his parents. Anyway, you get the fucking point. But the biggest biggest thing I notice with these guys who actually see success in this space and the people that don't are these guys just fucking took action. They stopped thinking about it and actually gave something a crack. A lot of these guys aren't special either. A lot of them come from construction backgrounds or warehouse jobs. A lot of these guys dropped out or didn't even do very well in school. They just gave something a crack, and yes, they ate shit for a while. Like, a lot of these guys were learning for months and they failed and they made mistakes. However, they chose to learn from their mistakes and continue pushing. You see, I don't really believe in failure until you quit. Your perspective needs to be, I only lose at this game if I give up. I really think the game of entrepreneurship and online business is who can do the most the longest. And yes, these guys are still at the very start of their journey. They're making some really good money, but they have a long career ahead. Now, I also want to answer this question quickly because I get this all the fucking time. Will this business model last forever? And the truth, man, is that it's fucking exploding. You see, most businesses are moving online every fucking year, which means there's more coaches, more agencies, more consultants, more software companies, more service providers, more brands who actually need people who can close deals. And these offers can range from 3K, 5K, 10K plus, even 50K plus. Dude, I've literally closed a deal for an AI automation that was worth $50,000. It can get that high. Think about a 10% commission on that. And these prices are becoming more common than ever. And the problem is that the bigger the offer is, the more expensive it is, the more skilled the sales rep needs to become. I mean, think about it. You're hopping on a Zoom call or a Google meeting with someone you've never fucking met before, and you're basically getting them to transact tens of thousands of dollars on the first call. That takes skill. It is very fucking possible to get that point, but it requires the right training, the right coaching, and the right guidance. Right now, there are thousands of business owners generating leads all the fucking time, but they struggle to convert these leads, and that's why remote closers are in such high demand. The internet created more opportunity, but it also created more competition. Businesses can't survive on attention alone anymore. They need killers who can actually generate revenue. And that's why this shit's growing so fast. And let me give you a fucking example here. Because even if there wasn't new online businesses being made every fucking year, most brick and mortar businesses are moving into the online space too anyway. Like, for example, this is just on Facebook Ad Manager. So this is where I can see everyone that's posting ads. I looked up the word construction. Now, I obviously cropped this a bit shorter, but there are so many businesses right now posting ads because these construction companies now understand, in order to get more jobs, I need to be in front of more eyes. I need to run paid ads. Problem is though, a lot of these construction companies don't know how to run paid ads. So that's why they hire these marketing agencies to take care of that for them. But that's exactly why you need remote closers, because these marketing agencies can't handle these calls themselves. The whole fucking world is moving online. The opportunity is there. There's never been in more demand. This is from ChatGPT too, but there are 50 to 100 million people per year starting some type of online business. Because the easiest entry point into business nowadays is online. Social media and AI and remote work has exploded in access. And this industry is heading towards a $2.9 trillion market space. It is prospected to have 92 million new remote digital jobs by 2030. There has never been a better time to get into this shit. Remote sales is by far the best way to get into the space, start making $10,000 to $50,000 a month. But it is also the gateway to starting your own online business too. This is my boy Liam. You would have seen him in my content before. We do a lot of cold calling stuff together. We've grown up with each other for the last 10 years. He started out as a remote closer. He ate shit for fucking 6 months, but in a single week, he cracked it. He made $6,000 as a closer. And once he understood the skill of sales, he started learning marketing. He started building his own personal brand and then built his own test maxing coaching offer that is now at 21,000 followers. And last week they did $20,000 in revenue. Shit's fucking crazy. The guy's never made this much money in his life. But it all stems from learning sales first. Take Conrad as another example. He started closing about 2 years ago. He had one of his biggest weeks and made $12,000 USD in a single week, bought his dream car, which was an M4, learned marketing as well, built his own personal brand, and then started his own sales agency too, and last month they did $100,000 cash collected. Once again, he started with sales, started making 5 figures a month, and then moved into starting his own business. Here's another example. Tavita worked as a sales rep, made another 5-figure fucking week, $10,000 in a single week in commission. Then started his own personal brand, built it to nearly 72,000 followers, and then started his own clothing brand and also now makes more money than he ever has before. And this was a business he always wanted to start. It has never been this simple to start making money online. All you have to do is learn one skill set. Yet some people hold themselves back from reaching their own potential. But the truth is, in 1 year's time, you're going to be somewhere. But it's up to you to decide where that's going to be. You see, for me, I had spent 3 years working this trade, not wanting to do it. And I knew if I spent 1 more year doing the same shit, letting my fear overcome me, 1 year later, I'd still fucking be here. Chances are 10 years later, 20 years later, even 30 years later, I'd still be in the same fucking spot. But once again, I decided to give something a crack because I knew, fuck it, man. Why not give something a shot? How could I live with myself if I never fucking took a risk? You have to bet on yourself, man. That little voice that you have in your head that's telling you to do more, telling you that you have more potential, that shit's never gonna disappear. Whether you act on it today or a week from now or a month or 10 years from now, it will always be there. But if you choose to ignore that, you're only wasting time and you're only going to have more regret in your life. If you're someone who actually wants to change their life and wants a blueprint on how to fucking start this shit, I'll put a link in the description of this video to book in a call with either myself or my team, and they will show you step by step how to change your life if you actually want to. But only book in a call if you're actually serious. If you're not, you might as well just fuck off. Now, if you want to learn a little bit more in depth about what remote sales is and how to get started, I'll also put a link in the description to my 1 hour free course. But other than that, appreciate you guys for watching and God bless.